I am April Davis Campbell, and I'm the pastor at Trinity Presbyterian Church in Woodbury, Minnesota. And I am so thrilled to be with you today for a little prayerful pause, a little spiritual nourishment for your soul, an opportunity for you to rest and abide in God's presence. As we walk into a new year, I invite you to lean into a discipline that might be uncomfortable for you. Perhaps it's silence. Perhaps it's fasting from technology. Perhaps it's meditating more. Perhaps it's reading the Bible more. Or maybe it's being outside and acknowledging God's glorious creation. And today is a fabulous day to do that because I'm told it's going to be in the 20s. Huzzah! Anyway, I digress. So, one of the things that I was thinking about as we walk into and through the year 2022, I was thinking about what does it mean to be found? And part of this is the remembering of the ways that we sometimes get lost in our life. And the first thing that comes to my mind is Jonah. So Jonah wants to get himself lost. He intentionally is running away from God. And what's fascinating about Jonah's story is that we recognize that actually you can't go anywhere beyond God's love and God's reach and God's grace. But this is not that story. If you are thinking about Jonah and being lost and someone wanting to be lost, that is not necessarily what we're leaning into today. Today I am hearing the song in my head, You Will Be Found, from the musical Dear Evan Hansen. So that song, You Will Be Found, is actually one of my alarms. So when I set an alarm in the morning, one of the songs that I can choose is You Will Be Found. And it is such a great, inspiring way to wake up every morning. I have a couple others, lest you think I am staying in the same lane, but You Will Be Found is one of my favorites because it just leans me into that space of comfort and enthusiasm. I will be found. Even if I feel like I'm lost, I will be found. So I have a couple short scriptures I'd like to share with you. And then time permitting, I'd like to share with you this book as well. So the first one we're going to read is from John's Gospel. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that first. We're going to do the Prophet Ezekiel. Also, from the inclusive scriptures, and this is written by the Priests for Equality. So again, this is the inclusive Hebrew scriptures, and this one is volume 2. See it down here. The prophets. So we are reading from the prophet Ezekiel, chapter 34, verses 11 through 16. And I invite you to think about, wonder about that juxtaposition about being lost and being found, and how the prophet is sharing that word with us. So listen for the word of God. For thus says sovereign Adonai, I myself will search for my sheep. I will seek them out. As shepherds seek out their flocks when their flocks are scattered in every direction, so I will search for my sheep and rescue them, no matter where they are scattered on that day of full clouds and thick darkness. I will bring them out from the countries and bring them into their own land, and I will feed them on the mountains of Israel, by its streams, and wherever there is a settlement. I will feed them on good pasture land, and the mountain heights of Israel will be their grazing ground. I myself will tend my flock and have it lie down, thus says the sovereign Lord. I will seek out the lost. I will return the strayed. I will bind up the injured, and I will strengthen the weak. And I will watch over the fat and the sleek. I will be a true shepherd to them. Again, that's from the prophet Ezekiel. And then our second lesson comes to us also from the Priests for Equality, the inclusive New Testament. And this is from John's Gospel, chapter 1, and verses 1 through 5. So listen for the word of God. In the beginning, there was the Word, and the Word was in God's presence, and the Word was God. The Word was present to God from the beginning. Through the Word, all things came into being, and apart from the Word, nothing came into being that has come into being. In the Word was life, and that life was humanity's light, a light that shines in the darkness, a light that the darkness has never overtaken. It comes to us again from John's Gospel. So the reason I'm sharing these two scriptures with you is it reminds me of those times in our lives where we might feel lost, we might feel like we're sitting in darkness, but it's the remembering of the light. It's holding that sense of space and that reminder, recalling the light that will overtake the darkness. And that light is in the world, and that light is in you, and that light is in me. And then also remembering from the Prophet Ezekiel that sense of, if we're feeling lost, we're not alone. We can trust that God, the Lord, Adonai, will always search for us, will always walk for us and companion us. It's really a comforting space to be in, I think, in the midst of a world and a time of uncertainty, knowing that we might sometimes stray off course, but we can always be comforted that there's someone not only searching for us, but guiding us. It's a great juxtaposition there. So God, the light, is always searching for us, but God, the light, is also guiding us. I think it's a fascinating way to live into that sense of light as something that can ground you, and the ways that then you can be a grounding for other people. So I'd like to share with you this book now, and this is by Benji Pasek and Justin Paul. And again, they're the songwriters of Dear Evan Hansen. And if you haven't seen it, I have been blessed by seeing the Broadway play. The music is fabulous. There's a movie version of it now. If you have ever felt lost in your life, if you know people who are lost, if you know young people especially who are feeling lost, it might resonate with them just as it might resonate with you. So I'd like to read this to you today. Starts out with the darkness. Have you ever felt like nobody was there? Have you ever felt forgotten in the middle of nowhere? Have you ever felt like you could disappear? Like you could fall and no one would hear? Well, let that lonely feeling wash away. Maybe there's a reason to believe you'll be okay. Because when you don't feel strong enough to stand, you can reach out your hand. And someone will come running to take you home. Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, and when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. So let the sun come streaming in, because you'll reach up and rise again. Just lift your head and look around. You will be found. There's a place where we don't have to feel unknown. And every time that you call out, you're a little less alone. If you only say the word from across the silence, your voice is heard. The world needs to hear this, to share it with people, because we all know that it's easy to be alone. So even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. Out of the shadows, the morning is breaking, and all is new. All is new. It's filling up the empty, and suddenly you see all is new. All is new. Because you know what? You're not alone. You're not alone. You are not alone. Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need someone to carry you, when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. So let the sun come streaming in, you'll reach up and you'll rise again. If you only look around. You will be found. You will be found by the Lord, who is your shepherd and is always looking for you. You will be found by the light that is in others, that is reaching out to you. I challenge you this day to be the light, to look for those who are lost around you. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're interested in learning more about the mission and ministry at Trinity, you can join us at trinitywoodbury.org. We're also streaming on YouTube. Have a fabulous day, and I will see you next time.